One of the great settings, one of the most picturesque settings in all of college football, Bozeman, Montana. Bobcat Stadium sitting 4,900 feet north of sea level in the Northwest, welcoming in a Yale team fresh off a comeback for the ages in the opening round last week. This Montana State fan base hungry to avenge last year's national title loss, watching their team make the run out. The journey to redemption beginning today against the darling of the Ivy League in Yale. Now, these two teams trying to punch a ticket to the quarterfinals. They are hyped up, a sold-out crowd ready to go at Bobcat Stadium. You see here, Abilene Christian, Stephen F. Austin, the two teams that Montana State and Yale will be keeping an eye on to potentially play next week in the quarterfinals. And we are locked up, locked in, and are ready to go. Jason Ross Jr. alongside Tioka Jackson, fired up to be here. 10 straight wins for Montana State, 7 straight wins for Yale. They've never met before until today, and Tioka, their seasons are on the line today.
Two hot teams. This Yale team has accomplished things never done before in the history of this program, but they're in the building where the Bobcats almost never, ever lose. It's going to be huge.
Well, what Yale did a week ago was historic. 42-13 was the score they were down by with 5.5 to go in the third against Youngstown State. Tioka, they rode the back of their running back last week in Josh Pitzenberger.
Why not? I mean, the guy is a tremendous player. Third most carries in FCS football. He is a true workhorse back. Very tough to tackle. He's got great patience. He explodes through the hole. And what I like about him is almost never do you see the first guy tackle him, and never do you see the ball on the ground. He is the offensive player as a running back that this MSU defense has to focus on to have any chance of slowing this offense down.
And the MSU defense is uber experienced up front.
Well, they got a great defensive line. One of the better watches on tape that I had all year, because this defensive line gets after people, and they play a lot of guys to keep them fresh. But the two men on your screen are the head of the spear of this defense. Caden Iden is Mr. Bozeman. He grew up here, went to school here, right around the corner, and he is the tremendous player in this front. And take a look at the other guy. We'll see him a lot. That defensive tackle was the best in the NFL prospect.
Miles Sandstead kicks this off. Tarver back to return and gets popped. Ball did come out towards the tail end of that, but it looks like they marked him down at about the 15-yard line. So now Yale's offense on the road, one of the most raucous atmospheres that you'll find around the country. Montana State is 37-2 in this stadium over the last 5 years, and you will hear how loud it gets throughout the course of the afternoon. Dante Reno comes out at QB, the son of head coach Tony Reno. He made impressive throw after impressive throw in the second half comeback against Youngstown State a week ago to guide them here to this point. They're going to get the run game started on the opening play, and you see right away how much Josh Pitzenberger seeks out contact.
Yeah, he's going to garner a lot of attention, and he should, because they're going to give him the football. They're not going to try to trick you defensively. They're going to try to just mash you up front. However, they do a really good job at the RPOs, and I think that's going to be a big key offensively for Yale, getting the ball outside and take advantage of everybody keen on number 7.
Quick throw, trying to get Lucius Anderson involved. That is incomplete. Jace McMillan on the coverage. But they got a slew of different wideouts involved in that second half. Anderson was one of the guys that had over 100 yards receiving a week ago against Youngstown State, but early on, a 3rd and 7 here against a defense that you don't have too many third downs against.
Yeah, and you better convert. If you want any chance of pulling off this upset on the road, got to be good on the money down.
Crowd definitely having an impact on this snap. Pressure comes, ball floated up, trying to adjust and make the catch was Nico Brown. Looks like he's got it. Nico Brown is back this week, Tioka, after missing last week. Comes into today 22 yards away from 1,000 on the season. Huge re-addition to their offense.
Well, listen, Sean Howe, the defensive coordinator of Montana State, said the guy almost never drops the ball. You saw how great those hands are on that play, contorting his body.
They'll go back to the run game with Pitsenberger. Defensive line ready to rock and roll there for Montana State. Take a look again at that last play.
Well, this ball looks like it was thrown out of bounds. You know what? And it would be thrown out of bounds, thrown it to most wide receivers, but Nico Brown's an acrobatic guy. Like you said, they're glad to have him back. First team All-Ivy.
Dante Reno, the sophomore from Massachusetts. He is as poised as they come. He'll have to be poised today. 2nd and 10. Quick dart, another completion as Brown again. So second catch for Nico Brown. They pick up 8 to set up 3rd and short here. They're going to move the chains. They'll give them enough for a first down.
And you see the quickness of the way this offense moves, but this time they're moving Nico Brown, sits down in the zone beautifully, presents himself, and that ball was on time and on target. But this is a spread, no huddle offense. They don't always go tremendously fast, but they
Pitsenberger with the run. Petrie wraps him up. Picks up 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6 to go.
Play in the opening quarter. You get a flag that comes out here.
That's going to be Quentin Lewis with the false start. And this is going to be an issue all game, Jason, for this Yale offense, because the crowd here in Bozeman can get really raucous. Now, I didn't think they were that loud at that moment. This wasn't a huge moment in this sequence, but you got to be disciplined and give this offensive line. Hold your water and only go when that ball snaps.
I'll hand it off to Pitsenberger, gets undercut.
Pitsenberger with the run.
Brought down by Carson Williams there, the redshirt freshman corner, sets up 3rd down, 2nd, 3rd down they face. Looks like 3rd and 7 again. He converted the first time they had this situation with Nico Brown, who's back out on the field now, bottom of your screen.
He gets the money down against the Bobcats. The first thing is first, protection. How are you going to take care of this front? Right now they're in 11 personnel, 1 tight end, one running back. Are they going to keep him in the block?
Go to Brown, try to set up a screen for him on the edge, but the open field tackling, which has been excellent for Montana State all season long, comes up big again here. It's Bryant Meredith, who we saw at practice yesterday, slotting in to get more reps at nickel.
And like you said, the tackling of this defense is excellent, but so is the team speed. Watch how quickly they get to the football, Jason. I mean, usually when you throw a tunnel screen like that, there's some room to run, but their defenders are so fast on the outside. Good luck at trying to make something happen that way.
First time we've seen Reese Keeney come out to punt, transfer from Rice. And the return opportunity here for Taco Dowler, who is so electric no matter what he is doing on the field. He will be out. Up next, the offense for Montana State, led by Justin Lamson, takes the stage for their opening series when we return. There's Brent Vegan, head coach of Montana State. His group lost by 3 points in the national championship game last season to North Dakota State. They turned the page quickly after that to get back to work and resume the goal of getting back to that stage. And here it is. We know these games, Taoka, aren't won in this week leading up to the game. They're won months in advance. They know this stage well. Justin Lamson comes out, stepping into the big shoes that were left by Tommy Malott at QB. He has filled those shoes very well. Quick throw, slant over the middle to Chris Long. Now that is caught. The Rutgers transfer able to make the grab, and they'll pick up enough here to move the chains.
Nice tackle by J.P. Schmidt there. Very physical. There's a good look at Brent Vegan. Enjoyed talking to him yesterday doing walkthrough.
37-3 in conference play under Vegan. Big Sky champs again this year. Throw it out to the slant here and going to Taco Dowler out on the edge. Now he gets brought down, but this group has been so consistent. 10 straight wins after an 0-2 start. Lost the first 2 to Oregon and South Dakota State. Have rattled them off since then. They rarely lose on this field under Coach Vigen. Yale, the Ivy League champion. He'll hand it off to Julius Davis. Working to the outside, and he gets brought down. See Lamson again there, transferred from Stanford. He was recruited by Coach Vigen when Brent Vigen was the OC at Wyoming, so they go back a bit, know each other very well. California native. Told us he wears that sleeve for style purposes, not to stay warm. He's gotten used to the cold.
Yeah, swag. Every chance you do, you get a chance to drip. Go ahead and drip off then. Nice job, Lamson.
Adam Jones, the back end now, looking for the edge, and he gets hit hard. Out on the perimeter, J.P. Schmidt coming up to make the play, the Illinois native.
Well, that's the second big hit by Schmidt now. Watch him now come from inside out with a purpose. That's the way you do it. I just want to see him wrap his arms. That's the only thing. That's a beautiful job of showing up on the outside to prevent the third down conversion, and that is a huge, huge stand by this defense of Yale.
We'll get off the field quickly. Tarver back to return. First punt of the day for Colby Froker. We got a fair catch with 8:36 to go in the first quarter. Take two for the Yale offense when we come back. Only in Montana do you get this pregame here. Horses prior to getting ready to run out onto the field. They're warming up in the snow.
A couple ladies just horsing around.
I see what you did there.
Nice.
The NCAA FCS playoff coverage continues with the quarterfinals next Friday and Saturday on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN+. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Dante Reno comes back out here. Didn't begin his college career playing for his dad, Tony Reno. Started out at South Carolina, transferred in this year, went to high school in Connecticut, had offers from several Power 4 schools out of high school. Again, right up against the noise of Bobcat Stadium. He'll take over. Second series, they picked up 2 first downs on the opening series. We'll start with Pitzenberger. Nice cut up the field. Cole Taylor got a piece of him to ultimately get him down, but Pitzenberger, he doesn't go down easily. Both of the backs we're going to see today for both sides, you can't go down by the ankles.
No doubt about that. And what I like about this offense is how they spread this defense out horizontally pre-snap. You know, when you get these wide receivers spread out wide, it lengthens the amount of space the defense has to cover, and it lightens the box, and they smack you in the mouth with Josh Pitzenberger.
They'll fake it to Pitzenberger. Reno keeps it and gets hit hard. Looks like they'll pick up enough here for the first down. They do, so third first down so far for the Yale offense. They're the underdogs here today for sure. Tauka, their fans have made the cross-country trip. We were seeing the Yale scarves all over Bozeman this week. Right now, it doesn't look like they're intimidated at all on either side of the ball. That was a huge third down stop, by the way, from their defense.
No doubt about it. I mean, you got 2 first downs on your opening possession, moved the ball, right, got it out of your end zone area, kicked the ball from near midfield, and then got a 3 and out. That's the way you start the ball game if you want to pull an upset.
Quick throw, that's been the name of the game. No, what a move from Nico Brown. He has enough for a first down, picks up 14. Again, a guy who did not play last week. If you tuned in late, came into today on the verge of getting over 1,000 yards in the season. He's there now.
I love the call from offensive coordinator Chris Ostrowski. Just to throw the football on early downs, it loosens up this defense. Everybody knows that Josh Pitzenberger is the guy, and they will run him early and often. But I like the changeup, kind of like in baseball. Throw the changeup at him, force the defense to see something else, and then you can come back and run the ball after.
Reno's first deep shot down the sideline, incomplete, out of the reach of Aiden Stevens. This Yale team carrying the torch of the Ivy League after Harvard lost last week. First time for the Ivy competing in the FCS playoffs as Reno gets up a bit gimpy. He is a tough guy, but
ooh, boy, I don't like how that looks.
Definitely limping right now.
Yeah, don't like how that looks at all. Now you say he's limping, but it looks a little woozy to me, Jason.
Yeah.
I don't like how that looks at all. We might see Marshall Howe come in after this one. Let's take a look and see if we can see what got him in this predicament.
Oh,
big
hard
shot
hit from Paul Barat.
Yeah, and that's the guy we talked about in our open. Paul Brown is probably the best NFL prospect on this Montana State team. 6'3", 300 pounds, and all 300 of those came down on top of Reno.
Reno takes his seat. Marshall Howe, the senior from California, comes in. Just 6 throws on the season. He's going to keep it here and showcasing the legs to pick up a good chunk on second down.
Oh, I love the decision-making coming off the bench cold. Great job of reading the defensive line, putting the ball into the mesh point of Josh Pitsenberger, forcing the defense to react to him, and then you cut off of that with a little bit of a read option situation. Get yourself 7 yards on second down, setting up a third and manageable. Let's see how this coaching staff trusts Howe. Do you put it in his hands? I think he might run this with number 7.
They do exactly that. Pitsenberger got dragged down. Looks to be right at the yard to gain where they're marking it.
Yeah, see, I think this is a smart decision. Just run power football right up into the A-gap with your best offensive player, knowing you don't need many yards, and they get just enough to keep the chains moving.
Just enough. So another first down. And with Dante Reno on the bench right now after the hard hit from Paul Brott, keeping an eye on his status, it's Marshall Howe who enters the stage very early. His first throw is intercepted, picked off over the middle, and room to roam the opposite way for Caden Dowler, the Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year on the first throw for Howe. Potentially turns the momentum early in this game.
And I was just going to talk about how is this offense going to change, if at all, with your backup quarterback Howe. And I think you got to go lean on your best player. Well, they decide to be unconventional and throw the football on first down with your backup, and this is what can happen. If you throw the football anywhere near Caden Dowler, chances are he's going to come up with it. One of the best football players in FCS, tremendous at getting his hands on the ball. Had a pick last week for a 34-yard touchdown. This is what Caden Dowler does.
You said he's a guy who's always in the right place at the right time. He reminds you of Aeneas Williams.
Yeah, lucky.
He's always in the right place at the right times. Now Lamson trying to take advantage here. They go to steal the redshirt freshman who they didn't anticipate to have as huge of a season as he has had, and making his playoff debut. There's his first catch.
Well, they said he's a state wrestling champion. How many state wrestling champions do you see playing on the outside of college football, Division I college football? But they say it helps him with his blocking. He does a tremendous job of blocking, and he's a fast developing receiver on the outside as well.
If there's a state where a wrestling champ is going to be playing wide receiver, we're in the right state for it. We're in the right state for it. Lamson's going to keep and run into a hard collision. Iodura Jaye brought him down from behind.
You got to be careful now. Watch this wall of white jerseys. You might want to find a way to get down instead of running into that. You do that too often, bad things are going to happen.
Conversely, Lamson's a guy who doesn't make mistakes. 2 interceptions in the entire year. Hasn't thrown one since September. None in Big Sky play. That's a direct snap to the running back, Adam Jones. J.P. Schmidt over there to force him out, but he picks up about 7 yards there.
And this is one of the best offenses in third down conversions in the nation. Number 1 in the conference and number 9 in the nation, 48%. And this is how they do it. They're really efficient on first and second down. As you talked about the direct snap, and there's room to run on the outside by Adam Jones. They've got multiple backs that run hard, as opposed to Yale, well, they've got one kingpin. Montana State has a bunch of guys.
Lamson only had 2 incompletions in their last game against Montana. Here's Jones again, cutting up field. He's starting to heat up. He is a slasher, as they call him, has speed, really the entire package.
He came in averaging 5.6, and if he was just a guy by himself, he'd be well over 1,000 yards. He came in with 695, and like I said, averaging 5.6. Great feet. You see the quick feet and the vision to see the hole and get there? He's a really good football player, as is Julius Davis.
He grew up in the rival town of Missoula. They went to Missoula to beat Montana 31-28 in their last game. 5th straight year earning the bye week for Montana State. Made the national title game last season, lost by 3 points Going to keep it here, leading the way, and then hole opens up. Oh, the ball came out in the end zone. Who is it picked up by? It is a Montana State touchdown. Chris Long was able to collect it. Wide receiver saving his QB there. Talk about how rare it is for him to make mistakes. This one, a fortuitous mistake into the hands of his wide receiver.
And did an excellent job to do everything right to get it in. But the left arm of Abu Kamara knocks that ball out. Chris Long is Johnny on the spot. That's how you keep playing. Run to the football. Don't stand and watch your QB run the ball. You go to the ball because the ball might squirt out. All young players, take a look at this play because Chris Long saved the day.
Now Miles Sandstead on for the extra point. So the interception from Dowler leads to the offense taking over in plus territory. Lamson nearly lost it, which he rarely does. But Chris Long, Johnny on the spot, able to pounce on it for the Montana State touchdown.
Back in Bozeman, MSU up 7-0. Let's take a look at this touchdown. First of all, it's 11 personnel, one back, one tight end. This becomes a power O with the quarterback running the football. You're going to be one short. This should be a touchdown. Now look at the job of getting off the block from Abu Kamara, knocks the ball away. But the guy who was blocking him, Chris Long, stays alive. A lot of receivers do nothing in that situation. Long stayed alive. Johnny on the spot, touchdown, MSU.
Joshua Tarver going to try to return this. Gets out to about his own 18. So quick strike for the Montana State offense. And now Yale trying to answer. Dante Reno is back in at QB. Talk about the look to that last hit. Was hoping it was just maybe the wind getting knocked out of him.
Yeah.
That appeared to be the case. Now he's back in, and when he's been on the field, has helped move this Yale offense to what's been a good start, 73 yards of total offense so far.
No question about it. I love the toughness to get up off the ground and come back in this game. Obviously, Marshall Howe was put in a really tough situation coming off the bench cold. But this Yale offense is happy to see Reno back in, and then they can stay with what their game plan was. These early throws on first down, I like again.
Trying to get Brown involved again. That time gets cut down out on the edge pretty quickly. Taki Alulia Kepa able to make the play there, filling in for J.J. Dolan at free safety.
And this is a pass. That ball's pushed forward, but they didn't get the key man on the outside block, and Taki comes in and makes a big hit. They like their corners and their secondaries as hitters. These guys don't only just cover, but they put licks on the ball carriers on the outside.
They were flying all over the film against Montana. 2nd and 11. Pitsenberger back involved and barreling ahead. This might be enough for a first down. He picks up 13.
And I talked about how this offense spreads you out, and it creates light boxes. And if you don't get Pitsenberger in the backfield with quick penetration, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a guy who's going to get through the hole and one-on-one falling forward gets another first down. I love this game plan, Jason. They're spreading the guys out, throwing a little bit early downs, and then running the football after that.
You talked about him in the open. He's their captain, their only captain. Yale honoring the Ivy League tradition of just one captain in each of their sports. Long-standing tradition. And they go back to him. Pitsenberger, gain of about 3 yards there. So it's been a good balance so far. The lone interception is what cost him. Howe came in. Dowler, the Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year, made the pick that set up the offense for a quick touchdown. If you tuned in late, coming up on the final minute of this FCS second-round matchup, first ever meeting between Yale and Montana State. Long cross-country trip for Yale. Got in late Thursday night, early Friday morning. A minute left in the quarter. Quick throw. Brown again. He's been really involved in his return today.
So impressed with this game plan. And they are executing it to a T. Chris Ostrowski's put together something beautiful early on. And again, it's starting with the spreading out of this defense, but they're not just running the football and they're not just throwing it. They're mixing it up. And I'm just telling you, as a defender, it's really hard to figure out exactly what's going on. And that's why this Bobcat defense is on their heels.
Right on cue, they're moving Nico Brown again, trying to keep him on their heels. They'll run it to that side. Helmet comes off for Reno. So he'll have to come out for a play.
Reno, the quarterback keeper.
I recognize this. That's a frustrated defensive front. They're a little angry right now because the ball's getting moved on them. And so what you're seeing is big hits at the point of attack as you see Reno has to come off because the helmet came off. But watch this attack. Now look, that could have been a face mask. You could argue, Jason, that might have been a face mask penalty by Alec Eckhart. Really quick, tough to see exactly if he grabbed it or not.
Sound like you're speaking from experience with that anger up front of the line. So Howe comes back in. He'll hand it off. Give it to Pitzenberger. Now you can get Reno back in here for an upcoming 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and long. End of the first quarter. Second round of the FCS playoffs. Montana State up 7-0 on Yale. Dante Reno coming back out here. Son of Yale head coach Tony Reno. Big 3rd down on the horizon here, Teoka.
Yeah, got to find a way to protect his son in this situation. This is where the Bobcat defense feasts. They don't need to blitz. They rush 4 and force the ball to come out, and they rally up and make big hits on the receiver. As you see Reno now changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Flag down, though. Legal formation.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So McGowan, who's back at left tackle this week, missed last week, called for the penalty there. Backs him up to 3rd and 14. Tough spot with this crowd.
Tough spot for this true freshman, too. I mean, because the crowd is going to get on you.
They'll just hand it off. Pitzenberger gonna keep it. Broke a couple of tackles. Really can't go down the ankles for him. So ultimately able to finishing him off is Dominic Solano. 4th down, and the punt unit gonna come out.
Yeah, I think that was the right call. As you see Pitzenberger came out of his shoe, and he's upset. And, you know, that was obviously an untimely penalty that made that a deal where we're just gonna run it and go ahead and punt the football and play field position.
Pitzenberger coming off his 6th multi-touchdown game of the season. Taco Dowler back to return this punt from Keeney. Dangerous returner. He's going to come up, field this. Teoka maybe has a block. Pirouette and gets out to the 26-yard line. So Justin Lamson mentioned their last game they played was a couple of weeks ago against Montana. It was his first time in this rivalry on the road in Missoula. 18 of 20. 90% completion percentage, 175 yards, 1 touchdown. Was moving and grooving with his legs as well.
Guy was put in an unenviable position to have to replace a legend in Tommy Mellott. And early on, he talked about it. He was getting DMs on social media, you know, talking trash. Well, after that big win on the road, something Mellott never did, those DMs are done.
And here he is going to the air, loading up. Down the sideline, there was contact. He wanted Ryan King. Coming over on the coverage is Brandon Webster. They're shut down corner. No call. It also depends on if this ball was catchable.
There you
Interesting.
go.
Yeah.
There you go, because there's no way he should have done this. And you could have got him with unnecessary roughness.
Right
you
there.
could have got him with, you know, hitting a guy who, I mean, that probably should draw the flag just because he is a defenseless player. I understand the ball wasn't catchable, but what about being a defenseless player in that situation? I mean, that made no sense in terms of Webby hitting him like that. But if you're Lamson, you want to give your receiver a chance. Didn't do that, throwing it out of bounds.
Now a little deception here, going to Julius Davis.
Julius Davis with the run.
So far defensively, Yale has played really well, and they've been good all year. This is one of the best defenses in FCS.
3rd down.
And this is the top defense overall in their conference. And so this is the type of blueprints you need to get winning on the road. You got to run the football. They've been able to do that, and you got to play really sound defense, and you can't turn it over. And that turnover, that's the one thing. You got to make sure you create turnovers and don't give it up if you're Yale and you got a shot at this thing.
7 straight wins for Yale coming into today. Last of which was the most dramatic. That ball was deflected dangerously up at the line, but there's that defensive front again. It finished Ivy League play excellently And right there to get the tip was Dylan Yang, it looks like.
Well, I like the decision to go ahead and heat up this pocket and get that ball out quick. And I think he had Dane Steele on the end cut. Great job of getting the ball on the ground with that pass breakup at the line of scrimmage, because, again, 84 was open, might have gotten the first down.
They forced another punt. Second time they've done that. Lucius Anderson back to return. Got close. A short punt gonna roll, take a Montana State roll down to about the Yale 27-yard line. 13:15 to go in the half. Montana State up 7-0. Nico Brown back today, over 1,000 yards in the season now. Didn't play last week, and you see what they were missing a week ago.
No question about it. He came into this game averaging 16.3 a catch, and clearly he's a touch guy in this offense with this game plan, and I like it. Lean on Brown and Pitzenberger, your best players. You don't need to get cute in the biggest games of the year. Let your best players lead the way.
Well, Pitzenberger will keep it up the middle, brought down by Cole Taylor. Muscling his way forward as this offense takes back over. Again, made so many impressive plays a week ago. Pitzenberger was huge in the comeback against Youngstown State.
Yeah, we talked to Caden Dowler, the all-star safety for Montana State, and I asked him, what impresses you about Josh Pitzenberger? And he said his patience and vision. He's slow to the hole, and he's quick through it. That allows this offensive line blocking schemes to develop. He has some confidence in them, and then he explodes through the hole like that.
Reminiscent of how their last few drives started. Pitzenberger trying to cut it upfield. Alec Eckert was able to finish off the tackle. Looks like they'll mark it with enough for the first down. And now down is Aarons, the really impressive true freshman linebacker. They're already down Neil Daly today at linebacker. So Aarons, we said to each other before the game, his reps were going to need to go up. With Daly down, Grebe and Taylor are the two go-to guys, but Aarons had a big season. You're going to see number 43 here, middle of your screen.
Ooh, yeah, and that whole tackle just sort of collapsed on him and his lower body. Got to hope that X is good to go because they need him badly. Very good young player, and like you said, his reps were going to go up today because Daly being down, and they have no problem with those reps going up of how he's accounted himself all year. Came into the game with 33 tackles. Again, a true freshman, 6'2", 220, really good size for a player that young.
His first playoff game. Tacoma, Washington native, Curtis High School.
Early on, they were checking that right knee, but the fact that they're not still pulling on it, I think is encouraging. They are keeping weight off of it, though, Jason. Now you hate to see that.
We'll see what they opt to do at linebacker. Again, already down Neil Daly today with injury. Probably a lot of snaps on the horizon for Bryce Grebe and Cole Taylor, but interesting to see who slots in if Aarons can't return.
Yeah, I think you might see a little bit more number 42, Ryan Crea. Came into this game with 18 tackles and an interception. He's a guy that they might turn to. His dad, Matt, played here at Montana State. We'll see if we see 42 come in, getting some of those reps that 43 may not be getting.
Another first down for Dante Reno in the Yale offense. Go to Pitzenberger. That's been the name of the game on first down. You know it's coming at you, but so far Montana State hasn't stopped that first down carry.
Yeah, and that's the ultimate disrespect of a defense. We're going to line up and run the ball right up the gut, and this is the strength of this team. This front seven, particularly the front four, is the strength of this defense, especially for Montana State. So early on, if you are a Bulldog fan, you have got to be happy with what's happening in the trenches.
You see the total yardage difference in this game right now as the lone Yale interception. When Marshall Howe came in, Montana State quickly pounced on that. Another good hole opens up for Pitzenberger, lunging ahead to the 50, tripped up by Caden Dowler, but not before he gets enough for a first down.
So any thoughts on whether guys like Pitzenberger, the offensive player of the year in Ivy, would not maybe be as effective going against a Montana State defense who is as fast as they are, and, you know, the Big Sky Conference and all of that. Well, they're holding up just fine, thank you very much.
Another quick throw that is deflected off the hands of Brown. In Brown's mind, he's going to say, I should have had that, and it was almost nearly put in a dangerous spot. Alulia Kepa was in the vicinity.
Well, if he gets his hands on it, generally Brown catches it, but the ball was thrown a little behind him. And, you know, there's accuracy and there's ball placement. That was the accurate throw. He threw to the right guy, made the right decision, threw in the right direction. But the placement of the ball was that back shoulder where it shouldn't have been. And honestly, Yale's lucky to still possess the football after that one.
He'll fake it and then go up the middle. First carry for Billy Dahl. The senior lunging ahead. And it's going to set up a 3rd down situation here on the plus side of the 50.
So that was just enough efficiency. Dahl did a good job of getting right upfield and getting as much as he possibly could, trying to run through a tackle of Grebe.
What do you want to look for here for Yale on 3rd and 5?
Well, this is a situation now where it's manageable, right? So you got to see if you got some off coverage. I like the slants. And you can also think this might be 3-down territory, but it looks like they're going to, well, no, they're not going to empty. So I would also say turning and handing the football off to number 7 is not a bad idea.
They really loaded up front. Play was blown dead.
Yeah, they moved early. I thought the offense moved early, Jason.
Prior to the snap, Montana State took their first timeout.
Oh.
It's a full timeout.
And had it played out, it looked like Pitzenberger had a hole on the right side. Timeout for Montana State. They get it off before that play. Big 3rd and 5 here. A bit of a chess match between these two excellent head coaches. Welcome back. That's the goal, to get to Nashville. The goal right now for Yale, 3rd and 5 coming up after Montana State used the timeout. Head coach Brent Vigen and his defensive coordinator Sean Howe had a conversation, and now they're going to try to chalk something up.
Heated conversation too. I'm wondering where they misaligned or something. But again, I think this might be 4-down territory.
Reno going to throw it. Offensive line holds up well. Wheel route down the sideline out of the reach of Brown. Looked like he had him. Out of the reach of his target, who could have been Tayoka, potentially streaking for a touchdown if that connected.
Gosh, Reno had it, just flat missed him, and he is upset about it. First of all, the protection was great. They kept Pitzenberger in to be a blocker, and you had exactly what you wanted down the sidelines. You don't get opportunities that much against this defense.
The ruling on the field is a touchback. Media.
You heard the call of a touchback there, so you look at this last play.
All 3rd downs, you can start with protection. The protection was perfect. And you had a guy running down the sidelines, and Nico Brown, your best wide receiver, with a step and a half at least. Again, these opportunities don't come around very often. You gotta hit them if you're Reno.
Offensive coordinator Chris Ostrowski for Yale told us, we can't take 3 today. It's gonna be 7 on the road. They haven't been intimidated one bit. Line of scrimmage, you look at total yardage, has favored Yale. That was one of the question marks coming into today. Could they come out west and handle Montana State's physicality? They've done just that. These two teams really align with each other, strength on strength. Right in the trenches. Justin Lamson comes back out. He'll hand it off. Nice little cut there to sneak through a crevice of traffic. Popping up Julius Davis, who had 106 yards in the season finale against Montana, picking up where he left off.
You see MSU going with some tempo, but I was just going to say, I'd like to see them run the football. They haven't really established any real continuity offensively yet.
Go to Taco Dowler, trying to get off a block. And he gets brought down at the original line of scrimmage. Joshua Tarver over there to make the play. So then you look at the reaction after this throw from Dante Reno, he knew he had it.
Felt it in his stomach. I know what that feels like. He knew that was his opportunity now to hit a huge play against a defense that does not give up big plays very often. He'll get another shot, though.
Lamson 4 of 6 so far. That is incomplete. And again, no flag. Second time this crowd thought there could have been contact early. Ayo Dirijaye able to make the play. Their defensive coordinator, Sean McGowan, told us he's maybe one of the smartest football players he's ever been around, tied up there with Rocky Lencioni.
He is, and Inumadun got away with one right now. I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, he wrapped up that receiver really early, talking about Rocky. Wrapped him up early that you cannot contact the receiver when the ball's in the air, period. And that's why this crowd is upset about it. Very knowledgeable crowd here in Bozeman, but that time he got away with one.
There was a guilty look around.
Whenever a defender puts his hands up and looks around, you know what just happened.
So instead it's third down. Yale's defense has been great on third down so far today. Where was this caught is the question mark. They needed 10. Looks like they'll pick up 11 on the catch from Jabez Woods.
Yeah, what a great throw by Lamson. He stood in there with pressure bearing down. Let's take a look at this route. Just a great job of finding the void and running the hook route. Ball came out on time.
Go to Jones in the ensuing play. Up tempo, like you said, trying to keep the momentum moving. That last catch from Jabez Woods, his first in the postseason.
I see the Bobcats run the ball more, Jason. I think they can get something established if they start running this football a little bit more. They kind of got away from it. And I think this will settle the offense down and get them in a rhythm.
Well, Davis comes in today 115 yards away from 1,000 on the season. Adam Jones coming in 15 yards away from 700 on the season. So you've got two 600-plus yard guys that you can rotate. They keep Jones in and do exactly what you said. Tarver couldn't beat him there, and he's brought down by Kamara, but not after enough for a first down.
You got two backs who received all conference honors. Jones is honorable mention all Big Sky, and Julius was second team. But that's just an outside zone where no one's showing up, and they're finding a way to get around the corner and get positive yards to move the chains. But again, I like the idea of running the football. There you go.
Director Dennis Landis, that's his motto. Run the ball. Low snap that time. They faked the run. Lamson back up to throw it. One-on-one, won it. Dowler, and now the flag does come out. So maybe that one was earned a bit from the last couple that weren't called. Brandon Webster locked up over there with Dowler. That's a matchup that we were thinking would happen.
Holding. Defense, number 7. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So this is the ultimate team sport, Jason, in football, but it comes down to the one-on-one matchups. Let's take a look at this ISO. You got Webster and Dowler, and Webster reaches around, grabs, pull jersey, the whole 9. But if you're going to get beat for a touchdown, you hear me say it every week, I'm okay with that, because it's a 15-yard penalty is way better than what it would have been somewhere around a 60-yard touchdown pass. Or 50 yards, excuse me.
Another flag comes out here.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Just before the official began to speak, you heard someone say they're yelling stuff. That's disconcerting signals. As a defensive player, I'm not going to say I cheated a little bit every now and then, but I kind of cheated a little bit every now and then. Like maybe saying, switch it. Like just give it some extra emphasis to force the offensive line to think that was the snap call and move a little bit. So it's a really slick deal. If you can get away with it, why not?
You're telling on yourself there.
A little bit.
First and 15. Brooks landed in a ton of traffic. Dowler was the intended target through all of that.
That throw right there, we like this. In the business, we call it an ill-advised decision.
Now all of a sudden, Tioka Yale, after it looked like they were getting potentially backed up close to their own red zone after the penalty, you're looking at now the 39-yard line. And this is just out of field goal range, you would think. So Yale's been excellent on third down. You get to stop here. You could potentially reverse this momentum again. Go to Jones, trying to find a crease. Got a couple yards to bring up third and what should be about 13.
Excellent defense again. The Bulldogs defensively have been on top of it. You're not seeing any mental errors, you're not seeing any missed tackles, and you're seeing a defense that's playing really hard. And those are the cornerstones of playing really good defense. Being physical, being smart, and rallying into the football.
These are all first for Yale. First time in the FCS playoffs. First time playing out west in a big stage like this. First time in the second round.
All start.
False start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That's inexcusable if you're JT Reed. You've been doing this too long. You're a senior. You're at home. So right now you got to lock in mentally. A couple mental errors early, or not even early, late in this second quarter, but just mental errors by this offense that have gotten them off schedule a couple times during this game so far. Got to cut that out.
3rd and 17. Yale showing pressure. They bring it. Lamson evades it. He's going to tuck and try to use his legs. Brought down out of bounds. Dylan Yang forced him out.
Lamson, quarterback keeper.
Looks like Yang a bit slow to get up.
Well, that's unfortunate because that was an amazing play by Yang. You talk about tremendous effort from a guy that's
Timeout for an injured
275
defensive
pounds.
player. This is also
Just
immediate.
kept running.
Timeout.
6'3", 270, like you said. Works his way up. And his effort sliding into that DN spot has been really fun to watch today. He'll force 4th and 11. And the field goal unit likely to come out for Montana State. With 6.5 to go in this second quarter. That was a big stand for Yale. It felt like Montana State was moving with tempo.
The bionic structure on his left arm. He's playing obviously hurt, but that's not what's bothering him now. He's limping with a lower injury. But this time of year, this is what it is. No one's 100% on that field, and so these guys are playing for pride and for the love of the game and for each other. And look at the energy there. He's like, no, I'm going to find a way to get back in this game. So don't be shocked if you see 98 back out there real soon. Mental toughness and attrition is what this part of the season is all about.
Their motto has been accountability, toughness, family, passion.
See? I mean, that's all that right there in that one play right there.
Well, they came back from down 42-14 with 5.5 minutes left in the third quarter last week against Youngstown State. Unfathomable what they did. Have never had that momentum that was just so palpable, changing like that. Hard to find a game around the country this year where you could see that, let alone in the postseason. So they are not afraid today. Down 7, 52-yard attempt.
Fake.
Coming up here, and they fake it. Try to run it. There is grass ahead. A first down, and more. Flag comes out.
It is coming back, Jason.
Froker took it down inside the 10, but like you said, appears to be coming back.
Yeah, I think Titan Fleischman, number 66, the right guard, was doing a tremendous job of blocking downfield. Watch it towards the top of the screen. There's 66. Now just maintain. Now you can save it now. See, when you're locked in like that and you feel it's getting that deep, you don't have to continue to hold. Let him go. He's not going to be able to run him down.
Brent Vegan not happy at all.
Yeah,
with the pending call.
During the run, holding. Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
Vegan is irate. Titan Fleischman does not think that should have been called, but
there's a way to hold Jason and get away with it. His left arm is outside the frame of his shoulders, the defender's shoulders. That's what got him. See, if you hold up inside, they'll let it go. And then also dumping him at the end, that gets the attention of the officials as well. So if you're holding like that, let him go now. He's not going to be able to run the guy down before he gets the first down.
And now they're looking at punting this. So Lucius Anderson back to return.
I know Coach Vegan is hot, but when he sees the tape, he'll be okay with it.
Going to try to keep this high with hang time and attempt to land it inside the 5. They do exactly that. 6:07 to go. Montana State comes away with no points from that possession. Looking at Yale history, their very passionate fan base has made the cross-country trip. You see the last title coming in 1927, 27 claimed national football titles. 1872 is the history that it takes you back to. Last week was the largest halftime comeback since 1941. This is that 1927 team. Teoko, they ran a single wing offensive scheme, 7-1 that year. Head coach Tad Jones, high def pictures back then.
I saw one of the players with a bald head. Now, what is he? I need a check on his ID. How old was he? Because his haircut was just like mine, completely bald.
6:07 to go in the second quarter. 1st and 10. Backed up inside of their own 5. Reno takes back over. Been efficient today. Got knocked out of the game after a big hit. Came back. See how hard it is to hear down there, though.
That's Dahl in the game, not Pitzenberger.
They give it to Dahl, and he goes down, running right into Bryant Meredith.
This has been a theme offensively for Yale. They've been really good on first down. That type of first down efficiency keeps you on schedule with getting first downs. That's exactly what this offense needs now. What would be perfect for them is a nice, long, time-consuming drive ending in points before you go in for halftime.
7 straight wins for Yale, their longest streak since 2006. Hand it off here. Defensive line that is so experienced. 3 out of the 4 defensive linemen up front for Montana State are seniors. Looks like Brott made some contact initially there.
Yeah, that's Brott again. We talk about this a lot, Jason. It's one thing to get blocked, but then to stay blocked. And that's Alec Eckert actually with the first hit and wrap up to get him down. These guys will get blocked initially, but they play with their hands and they get off the block to make plays. Reno has to be really smart with his decision making. Running the football is an option. Pittsburgh is not in the game, though.
Throws it to Brown, trying to turn and lunge ahead. He thinks he has a first down. It was an athletic play to even contort his body like that. Where he caught it, I was saying there's no way he's going to get this first down. Look at this replay.
Well, he's only 6 feet, so you see his catch radius may not be that big, but he's athletic. So he can make the away-from-body catches because he's got extremely reliable hands.
Over 1,000 yards on the season. Returned today after not playing in the first round last week. Big re-addition to the offense. Montana State showing the pressure. Nice quick slant. Lucius Anderson this time. Plunging his way forward for a gain of 13 and a first down. Guy who had 138 yards in a breakout game last week against Youngstown State, just a true freshman.
Well, Sean Howell decided to bring number 5, Caden Dollar, on a blitz, and that means man coverage on the outside. Perfect throw and perfect call against that defense. Just run a slant against man coverage, and he threw, talking about Reno, a bullet over the middle.
8 targets to Lucius Anderson last week, 8 catches. Talking about a perfect game. Doesn't get much better than that.
True freshman.
Tioka, they're moving the football, just haven't found their way all the way down the field so far. Can they do that here in the waning minutes of the half? On the road in this atmosphere. Dahl again, cut down that time. Jace McMillan, the redshirt freshman, a part of this young cornerback group, along with Grebe, were able to make the tackle.
Really good job of running this power O. Just getting positive yards. I like the play by McMillan, though. There's Pitzenberger back in the game. He's coming in fresh. I would feature number 7 now. And he doesn't catch a lot of footballs, Jason, only 12. Why not throw it to him? That'd be a key breaker in this situation.
They floated him out. Instead, they go to the opposite side. That's hauled in by Aiden Stevens, but he was hit very quickly. Open field tackle made by Bryant Meredith.
Yeah, so he had Pitzenberger wide open, but that wasn't the first read for Reno. He liked the slant to his right. Ball was caught. The problem was the tackle was so perfect, you got no after-catch yardage. As you saw, Pitzenberger released to the left. Outstanding job right there on the outside defensively by Meredith.
Ivy League champs versus Big Sky champs. Another 3rd down. More good protection up front. Reno gonna have to roll though, and just dish it away. Stalking him from behind was Grebe, and that'll force a punt.
No foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback was outside of the tackle box. The ball went beyond the line of scrimmage. It's 4th down.
Great explanation by the white hat official. Gets out of the pocket, and now as long as he gets it to the line of scrimmage, there's no foul. Doesn't even have to be a receiver out there. And that was close, but he got it past the line of scrimmage. That's all that matters.
It was brought down right before the 2-minute timeouts. They're still going to have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout for Montana State. Offensively with Taco Dowler back to return. Reese Keeney setting up to punt. Line drive punt away from Dowler.
Keeney's punt goes out of bounds.
7-0. Montana State's offense comes back out with 2 timeouts left. Snowball season in Bozeman.
Careful, kid. Careful now out there.
Don't slip. Don't slip. They're used to the footing around here.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Coming up at the half, we'll talk history of the Ivy League. It's their first time in the FCS playoffs. Carrying the literal torch for them is Yale. You see what's happening so far in the FCS playoffs today. Mercer going down 47-0 to a South Dakota team that had a lot of chip on their shoulder as Jones maneuvers forward there, taken back over here with under 2 minutes to go in the half.
That Mercer loss was the worst by a first-round bye team in the history of FCS football.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So far here today, Jones finds the first big crease in the run game for Montana State. Ayoderajan able to finish it off with a tackle, but a gain that'll put him up inside of plus territory here.
And this is what I was talking about earlier, Jason. Run the football more. I mean, obviously you're getting the ball run on you on the other side. A lot of times you come back with the run to get your offense in rhythm and control this football game. I think there is an opportunity there to continue to run the football if you're Montana State.
Now moving quickly, Lampson trying to avoid traffic. Kamara came up to bring him down in the open field. This is about where Montana State was in their last series. His clock starts to tick down to 70 seconds left, and it's 60 now.
As well as Yale has played defensively up until this point, this is the most critical drive of the ball game here.
Lampson, another quick dart through a tight window. Jabez Woods able to pull that in. Kamara was on the coverage again instead of a minute. Still have the 2 timeouts.
It's a great catch by Woods because that ball was behind him. Watch him turn his body in traffic and make a big catch there because that had interception ball written all over it.
All of a sudden, 3rd down here. Yale's defense been really good on 3rd down today.
Showing pressure, walking up, mugging the center. Here they come.
Kamara was in his face. Tyoka, I think he might have gotten a piece of it. The way that ball started to flutter and came up so short. And they're out of field goal range right now. You would think so, unless they attempt a really long one.
I love that job by the free hitter. I think that might have been Kamara.
Yep.
Bill Kolar, my old D-line coach, told me when you are free to the quarterback, don't jump. Put your hands up and keep running. Great job of getting to the quarterback, didn't jump, touched him but affected him and made a bad throw.
In TV, we call that a tease for the halftime interview coming up.
You like that, right?
Yeah, Bill Kolar in the booth with us, the Montana State legend. 35 seconds left in the half, and Yale's defense got to credit them again as Anderson comes up for the fair catch to get another stop. The difference in this game right now, if you tuned in late, an interception thrown, and it led to a short field and a Montana State touchdown. There's the jersey of the legends.
There's the GOAT, College Football Hall of Fame, 2-time All-American, long-time NFL coach. Huge impact on the game of football. Hey, Johnny, was that Johnny up there?
It was Johnny up there on the
Johnny
camera.
on the spot.
Johnny on the spot.
Getting as much camera time as we get, which is completely unfair. I didn't get dressed like this for nothing now. I mean, I like my camera time too.
You've got a tie clip on today.
I do.
You're looking pretty good.
It's playoffs, baby.
Yale, the underdog coming in here, led by Josh Pitzenberger, their running back and captain. When they were down 35-7 at the half last week, had less than a 1% chance to come back and win. Looks like they're going to be down 7-0 at the half this week as it ticks down. They're going to head to the locker room. They had a passionate speech last week. You wonder what it's going to be like this week on the road here.
Yeah, a little bit different story. I mean, they're playing really well, especially defensively.
Absolutely.
I mean, like you said, the turnover is the only thing that got the points for the Bobcats. And so they'll take this. They'll take this all day long. Huge underdog on the road. You're only down 7. That's an excellent first half for Yale.
This is going to be a good one. Has been the entire way. You can feel the energy. Yale has come in here unfazed. The lone difference right now, the Caden Dowler interception and touchdown in the end zone. We'll be back for the halftime. Beautiful Bozeman scenery right behind Bobcat Stadium. It's a 7-0 lead for the home Bobcats at the half here in the FCS playoffs. Second round matchup between Montana State and Yale. Welcome you inside of the booth, joined by a special guest, Jason Rush Jr., former Montana State. Bill Kolar, the legend, Hall of Famer, longtime coach in the pro ranks and college ranks. Tyler Jackson with us as well, the GOAT up here in the booth in Bozeman. So, Coach, I want to start with that. Your feelings when you get back here. We saw you here this time last year. Why is it important for you to come back? You've done some coaching here as well.
Oh, yeah, I love, Montana State. Bozeman's a great city and stuff, and, played way back in the 70s and, would try to come up as much as possible when I was coaching, but which is hard to do. So now that I've been retired for the last 3 years, I come up as much as I can. I usually see 5 or 6 games a year now.
Yeah, I mean, they probably know you like your brothers and sisters out here running all these businesses, man, in Bozeman. But let's talk about Coach Howe. You got a relationship with him. Former D-line coach has now been elevated to defensive coordinator. Talk about what kind of job you think he's done.
Well, I know what kind of job he's done because I work with him, 3 years in a row, just sort of helping out a little bit and stuff. And he coaches just like I coach, and obviously I think, which is, the best that you can do. He is as good as D-line coaches I've seen in college football, period,
now, you said,
at any level.
Coach like you, now wait a minute, I got nightmares of you yelling at me. I hope he's taking care of the kids a little better than you took care of me. I got gray hair because of that, Coach.
No, don't believe that. Ty obviously did a great job. He played for us in Atlanta, then played for us in St. Louis and stuff, had a 12-year career, which is obviously tremendous, to be able to play that long. But he's a hell of a coach.
So, yeah, and it's important. And we talked about it, Coach Howe. Coaches like you got to be able to hold your players accountable. Even with, the portal and NIL and all that stuff, if you don't hold coaches or players accountable, they can't get better. They can't grow. And sometimes that growth comes from being uncomfortable.
Without a doubt. And, because I've had many players come up to me afterwards and they couldn't stand me when I was coaching them. But after they saw how it sort of helped and worked and stuff, they say, boy, I really appreciate it and stuff. But that happens, like I said, Sean, how the players here love him. Like I said, I've been coming around the last 3 years pretty regular. And, all the players, not just the defensive line and stuff, they all love him. And the guy does a great job.
Now, look, you went from the high school you came from, the city that you came from. Did you ever see yourself ending up in the college football Hall of Fame immortalized forever?
No. I'll be serious. How people say, yeah, I expected to be. I didn't.
Right.
It was just one of those things, sort of grew into it as I played and went and stuff. And obviously it turned out to end up being tremendous. But to sit back where I was in high school and say I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame, I'd be dreaming.
It's not where you start, Jason. It's where you finish, right? And
Speaking
hard
of
work.
that, what's the biggest lesson you learned from Bill?
Well, listen, all-out effort. In football, if you don't play with great passion and effort, that's not football. I can remember him saying, look at this. This is not football. We got to hustle to the football every single play. A lot of guys like to make big, flashy plays, and I love making big plays, but you don't know where those plays are coming. So if you don't play every single play with absolute effort, you got no chance of being good as a player or as a defense, and I learned it from this guy right here.
Yeah, and how Ty was when he came in, I really liked him as a pass rusher at Penn State, could really rush a passer, but he wasn't that big and all that. So, we had him, played a little bit. Then when I had a chance to pick him back up in St. Louis, I loved it. And he became one of our regular top guy pass rushers and stuff, and we had the greatest show on turf in St. Louis.
Coach, really appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate
it. You better believe it, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
7-0 halftime, Montana State and Yale for this second round matchup when we come back. Bozeman scenery, collective team effort there. Trying to move the ginormous snowball down the hill. If you're looking for something pregame here in Bozeman, Main Street over easy, always a good spot.
Now, see, that's diabolical. I bet our director, Dennis, is at the bottom of this. He knows I'm fasting before the game. And why would you show this now? You hear that's my stomach. That might have been Mark, the producer. I think I'm going to put it on him. But my stomach is growling harder now.
Jam, endless good breakfast spots. I know you went to Jam yesterday post-workout.
I did not, but I will. We love
Apparently
food.
You did not. You find out we love food. Tyler Jackson, Jason Rush Jr., the Food and Football Show is back here. Second round of the FCS playoffs. 7-0 the difference right now. An interception. And that's really the lone difference right now. And Howe came in. The hit on Reno. Coming up second half here, your keys for both teams are one.
Well, first of all, if you are Montana State, you need more of this. You need more physical play from your defensive line. I need that defensive line to take the game over. Yale has been able to run the football way too much. And you got lucky with this touchdown, right? Because if it wasn't for Johnny on the spot from your receiver, Long, this would be a 0-0 ball game. So you have got to take this thing over defensively, and I like to see him offensively run the football. And if you're Yale, just keep doing more of the same. You've been efficient by running the football early and throwing the ball early, keeping you on schedule. Do that continuously. And then I also look to, when you get an opportunity to hit the big play, they missed it before, you're going to get another opportunity in the second half. Make sure you hit the open receiver deep if you get the opportunity.
See the stats there almost evening up. Yale with that time of possession edge, but we'll see what happens when the second half comes around. Season's on the line, 7-point difference, Montana State and Yale. Talk about the sights and sounds of Bozeman. Shout out to JW Heist Steakhouse, always treating us so well when we come through Bozeman, Montana. Teoka, you and I first checked out this spot last year. Good dinner last night with our crew. The steak
garlic butter
was perfection, right on top.
Goodness,
perfect sear. The salmon was pristine. Shout out to Sam for helping us out. And a little note here, in parentheses, don't worry about being impartial. For the record, we're gonna be
don't worry about your career.
Don't worry about it. You see the highest altitudes in the FCS, Northern Arizona leading the way in Flagstaff, but Bozeman.
That's why you were breathing heavy on the way back from the cookies. Yeah, because
the cookies, the steak too. You see what Yale is climbing up to, 59 feet to 4,946 feet. So you start to wonder, as taco time rolls around, Taco Dollar is going to return some kickoffs. The taco kids are ready. He's eating a pizza.
In his right hand. What is that? Come on, kid.
Controversial,
exploding
but
in my brain.
Second half on the horizon, and we're pulling out all his food stops here.
Now, clearly, Jason, the altitude is not affecting this kid.
Absolutely not. He's used to it.
When you're that young, come on.
Yale got the ball to begin the first half, so they will kick off to start the second. Only difference right now, the interception and then the short field for Montana State. You really got to like that first half if you're a Yale fan.
Down 7 points, but Yale feels like they won the first half. I guarantee you. Now you just got to inch even closer now.
Noah Conforti, senior from Livingston, New Jersey, kicking it off. This will go over the head of Jabez Woods, and out comes the Montana State offense. Like you said, Yale's defense has stood up to this challenge today. The underdogs, but has not felt like it. They've gotten off the field on third down. They were so impressive on third down in the second half last week against Youngstown State. But you see what Montana State has done in third quarters this year. Ridiculous scoring margin.
Yeah, they've buried teams in the third quarter. This is where they usually take control of this football game. What they need to do to make that happen again, they need to put it on this offensive line in their backs. Establish dominance along the line of scrimmage, and that will open up your play action pass and RPO game.
They're going to run it. Nice cut to the outside. Patience from Julius Davis. The edge was sealed off, and you see the chirping from Brandon Webster, who's also stood up to the challenge today, not only matching up against the opposing team's best wideout, but tackling well, too.
Right side of your screen, number 72, Brandon Zimmer. That's how you hold without getting called. His hands were inside, holding the jersey of the defender, and that allowed Davis to turn the corner and get positive yards. 8 of them, as a matter of fact. 7 of them.
Lamson will hand it off again. It's Davis again. Moving forward, taking a look at the opening half stats. Lamson threw 6 of 11, 48 yards.
Yeah, I like just first and second down doing exactly what I thought they may do, and that's try to establish the line of scrimmage. And where is that putting you? That's putting you at 3rd and 1. And this is how you get control of the game. Be efficient on first down, good enough on second down, and convert on third down, which they normally do at a high rate.
This is where Yale was able to really get off the field well in the first half. Run up the middle should be enough. It is.
I don't care if you're the Yale defense or the steel curtain of 1975 Pittsburgh Steelers. It's hard to stop an offense when it's 3rd and 1. I mean, you just got to lunge forward, but that's where first and second down makes third down so much easier.
Oh, fake it, set up the pass. That is deflected dangerously. Looks like Abu Kamara's 2nd time today. He's gotten his hands on a pass.
And again, the same way, you're the free hitter on the corner. Do not jump. A lot of people want to jump and bat the ball, but no, you keep running, put your hands up, and get all the way to the quarterback. Nice job right at the end to hit the throwing arm of Lamson and broke that thing all the way up. That's a really good job of being a free hit blitzer. Smart.
Lamson keeps it, tried to fake out the right side of the defense, lunges over J.P. Schmidt. We're going to lunge forward, be about 3rd and short here coming up.
Yeah, but Schmidt, he put a hit on him just before that. Nice job of following your blocker, Adam Jones, and getting what you can get off the cut inside, but not before he got smacked. Held on to the football, though. But what that did do, again, was set up a really manageable situation on 3rd down. I do not think you need to get cute if you're offensive coordinator Pete Sturbeck. Give it to one of your backs and let your offensive line do it.
Handed off to Jones this time, got met. And Tayoka, I believe he came up short.
Phoenix Grant and others meeting in the hole. That's a little mid-zone, bam. Nice job of meeting him in the hole. And then Daquan Gonzalez also getting a piece from that corner. As you see, good look at number 8, Phoenix Grant. He shows up on tape. He's a sideline linebacker, guys.
They are going to punt it on 4th and 1.
Late decision. They were thinking about going for it, Jason.
Yale's defense stands up tall again. Lucius Anderson back to return. And they will punt it. Froker gets it away, and it'll roll down to the 15. Opening drive of the second half for Yale coming up when we come back. Dante Reno coming back out. There's his dad, Tony Reno. Began his career at South Carolina, did Dante, so didn't start out playing for his dad, but there he is with his dad back in 2017. Dante started playing in 4th grade as a running back, then became a flag football quarterback, grew that into tackle football, loved playing it. As he looks back ever since, as they handed off to Pitzenberger here. He also played baseball growing up. That was his first sport he loved. He said playing quarterback reminded him of being a pitcher and leading his team. Right now down 7-0. What did you like about the Yale offense that despite not having points on the board, they did move it, but just didn't come up with any of these ending results in points?
Well, they got into a rhythm with being very efficient on 1st down, both by running and throwing. Montana State didn't know what was coming. Got them on their heels early.
A lot of quick throws. We'll see if they can get Brown back involved. That's batted down. Did Paul Brock get his hand on that? Looked like he did.
How many plays is Brock going to make today? I'll answer my own question. A lot. And he's getting double teamed. Now, that's when you do want to look to jump. When you are being double teamed and stuck at the line of scrimmage, that's when you get in the throwing lane and get those hands up. Great job from Brock. We've seen him in the run game, and now he shows up as a double team pass rusher getting the ball down.
They blitz on 3rd down. Reno shovels it to Pitzenberger. Can he get it out for a 1st down? He does. Some late improv from Reno and Pitzenberger. Their dynamic duo, and it's the captain moving the chains.
Boy, how about the sophomore Reno with his wits about him? Here comes the rush. Head up, though. A lot of young players, young quarterbacks look at the rush, trying not to get hit. Reno feels the rush, steps up, and gets rid of it to his outlet, Pitzenberger, and he knows exactly what to do with it.
They were so superb on 3rd down in the second half. Comeback against Youngstown State last week. They'll throw it across the seam. Oh, they had the target, and Aiden Stevens, who couldn't hang on.
But this is the RPO game that they're so good at, and they'll hit you on all 3 levels. This was an intermediate throw off the fake. Everything was perfect except for Stevens let that ball slip through his hands. That would have easy again been another 1st down.
So those are the type of things that just did not happen in the second half comeback last week. Everything needed to be perfect.
Yeah, and we talked about taking advantage of all these opportunities of getting the ball downfield. I was talking about the deep throws. That was an intermediate throw that you missed on.
Go back to Pitzenberger. That looks reminiscent of how this game started. Just running straight along those hashes. Gain of 14 there.
Well, offensive coordinator Chris Ostrowski, said that Josh Pittsburgher is the best player in FCS football at his position. And I kind of understand why he feels that way. It doesn't really matter if he's running against Yale conference defenders, talking about the Ivy League, or if it's the Montana State Bobcats and Big Sky Conference champs and their type of defense, he's productive against everybody.
Can they get into plus territory? These drives, which have been pushed back initially, moving down the field again. Another throw down the seam again, lunging to try to make that. That was the tight end. Brady Wagner didn't look like a tight end there.
Almost fit that thing in. What an effort by Wagner. Great job of laying out. It takes confidence in who you are as an athlete and as a player to leave your feet to try to make that catch. And I thought the throw was about where it needed to be if you're Reno, because he was really tight coverage. Great job of laying out, did almost everything perfectly, but the coverage also by Cole Taylor forced that ball to be thrown just out of the reach of Wagner.
That is playoff effort. 10 for 18 today, Reno. Pitzenberger getting a rest right now, so they go to Dahl, who does have a crease. Broke 2 tackles. Cole Taylor able to bring him down, but a gain of 12 and a first down for Dahl.
6'1", 222 pounds. And so he's not going to go down easily, folks. The blocking, beautiful. Gets to the second level. Look at the stiff arm and lifting up of the knees and being physical to get it more yards after contact there.
Yale in search of their first 10-win season since 1909. The 7-game win streak is the longest since 2006. First time in the FCS playoffs, first time in the second round, first time playing Montana State. A lot of firsts, but they are handling the scene well. Handed off again, Pitzenberger back in.
I want you to really pay attention if you're at home, how often both Pitzenberger and Dahl gain extra yards after contact.
I'm loving the contact in this game.
Yeah, it's beautiful. This is what football is all about, folks. I mean, either you're knocking them back on defense or you're knocking them back on offense. That is the purity of this game. As much as the innovation has changed it, that part of the game will never change.
Their head coach, Tony Reno, has been at the helm since 2012 in his 13th season. The physicality in the run game has been a part of the staple in each one of those seasons. They're going to fake the handoff. This time they have it to their tight end, Graham Smith, who's moving bodies inside of the red zone. We said it to begin this drive, Teoka. Can you get inside the plus side of the 50, and can you finish it? Right now, they're knocking on the door.
Yeah, when you run the football well, the play action is going to be a weapon. Great job of catching the football. Nice job of Nico coming in and getting a little extra push.
Reno to throw again, checks it down. Pitzenberger tried to slip out of the tackle of Cole Taylor. Taylor, an excellent tackler, though. 66 on the season, was able to keep him from getting even further.
See, I like the idea of throwing it to Pitzenberger. He only had 12 catches coming in this game in 11.
You said that earlier.
Right, and so I think he is a check down weapon in this offense, because once he gets the ball in space, he's the demon of a running back that he is when you hand it to him.
High pressure plays. Pitzenberger got a great block from Wagner. Now moving the pile forward. Lucius Anderson was trying to push him as well, the wide receiver. Team collective effort to get right down near the yard to gain, which will put him in a goal-to-go situation if they have the first down.
This is what a workhouse back is, and this time they're running just an outside pitch. Look at the physicality now. I know I sound like a broken record, folks, but listen, this is what's happening on the field. They are continuing to run through contact.
See the numbers in the red zone this season. First time in the red zone today.
Not great. They needed to be better today, though.
And what did offensive coordinator Chris Ostrowski tell us? We can't get 3 in the red zone on the road. This feels like a situation where that needs to be 7. They're going to hand it off. Dahl inside, stopped about the 6, so you wonder when they go back to Pitzenberger down here. They also love to use the tight ends in red zone situations. That was really successful a week ago.
Red zone defense. Get a stoppage of play. The red zone defense.
Injured defensive player.
See Graham Smith there in the shot. He caught touchdown last week as there's a Montana State player down. We'll check on him when we come back. The NCAA FCS playoff coverage continues with the quarterfinals next Friday and Saturday on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN+. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Jason Ross Jr., Teoka Jackson, Big second down coming up here for Yale. You see these two teams looking in this portion of the bracket at Stephen F. Austin or Abilene Christian in the quarterfinals next week. They're currently tied up at 17-17. Yale has intentions to try to tie this game up at 7-7. What do they have to do here at Tioga to do that?
Well, first of all, number 7's in the game. That's Josh Pitzenberger. And is he lining up behind center, or is he just getting information? So check his alignment. But you got Pitzenberger on the field, so you have the ability to run the football. You only have 7 yards to go for a touchdown. You don't need to get the ball in the end zone right away. I think this is 4-down territory if you're efficient here on second down.
They've got 2 tight ends. Loudest Bobcat Stadium has been all afternoon. They'll go to the end zone one-on-one off the fingertips of Nico Brown. And extend up. Back on the coverage was Williams.
And so we talked about this when we had break. If you're going to throw the football, I like moving your receiver to get some pre-snap information. It told you they were zoned. They didn't have a guy trailing Nico. So I don't like the call because against zone, that corner end zone throw is very inefficient. And so now, Jason, you almost have to throw the football.
Third and goal, a lot of noise. Dumping on the crossing route, picked off. Second INT of the day. This time it's Cole Taylor out to the 30. And a red zone golden opportunity is wasted for Yale. Montana State's takeaways, the difference in the game to this point.
It was the late pressure that affected Reno, and that made the ball inaccurate. Tips and overthrows are terrible over the middle. There it is, just a little inaccurate. And Cole Taylor does a great job of getting the football off the tip drill. He's known as a hitter in this defense, folks, but he showed us some ability to catch the football. As you see, the crossing route, errant throw because of the late pressure. Great job of picking that football up and getting positive yards for your offense by Taylor.
That was the guy who's been hot in your receiving game, Nico Brown, who they were targeting. Meanwhile, Julius Davis with speed off the edge. Hurdles a man. And just ahead of the 30. Wow, Cole Taylor with the turnover, cowboy hat going. But, yeah, I mean, Yale said they needed 7 in the red zone. You get 0 there. That's huge.
Nice job by Daquan Gonzalez to get the back down. But as you mentioned, man, I mean, that's just a terrible, terrible turnover in terms of where it took place and the timing of it. You did everything right to get the ball down there.
Long drive, too. That's gut-wrenching, but still a lot of football to go. Still a one-possession game. Crossing right over the middle of the tight end. Lenchoni able to make the grab. That time, they brought Ayo Durajaye on a blitz off the edge. But this will be enough to move the chains.
Yeah, Jay Anderson and Sean McGowan, the co-defensive coordinators for Yale, have been able to be effective with this blitz, but there's a downside, and it's called man coverage on your receivers.
Jones, the ball carrier now. You like the tempo from Montana State, similar to what they did after the first interception.
I do like the tempo, and I like the ability of establishing dominance along the line of scrimmage. Continue to do that if you're Montana State.
Very interested. Taco leaning over, wondering when his guy, number 14, Taco Dowler, is going to make a big grab.
These guys keep showing things afoot. Just showing food on the camera continues to make me hungry. I don't like that.
Quick throw. It's out of the backfield. Jones. Forced out of bounds by Phoenix Grant. But momentum has definitely swayed to the Bobcats right now. Now, I will say that, Tauka, they've been plus side of the 50 multiple times. Didn't get anything out of it. Credit Yale's defense for that. So if you're the Bulldogs, can you come up big once again with this crowd feeling it? Ivy League champs versus Big Sky champs. First ever meeting. Pads are popping down there. Jersey kind of hanging off the shoulder pad of Adam Jones. How his jersey looks right now is kind of emblematic of how this game has been.
Yeah, and now Jones is showing the physicality that you love to see in the run game, running through contact, falling forward, ending the play with you going forward. Again, that's devastating for the defense. Very, very tough on the morale. Got Yale's defense reeling a little bit. Can they continue to capitalize? Talking about Montana State.
Start to think about the elevation as well. Yale making the cross-country trip, how that feels in the lungs right now for this defense. They're trying to slow down Adam Jones, but they're having a lot of trouble doing so.
This is what we talked about. establishing the dominance on the line of scrimmage. Running the football like this, like body blows to the defense. It kills the legs for the fourth quarter, and Yale does not quite have the depth of Montana State. So as you mentioned, you couple that with the altitude, and it becomes devastating.
Third highest in the nation in the FCS. Oh, nice hurdle there from Davis, who cuts it back. Finesse, a little stiff arm, a hurdle. That run had it all. And they're inside of the red zone, knocking on the door.
It doesn't have to be complicated. You got two fresh backs, two live legs, and look at the athleticism, the vision. Love the ability to run the football with guys, multiple guys, because everybody stays fresh, Jason.
Lamson's first playoff start has been a really clean one. Transferred from Stanford, was recruited by his head coach Brent Vigen out of high school.
Watch the play action here.
That's your guy, Taco Dowler, on the move. Looks like he wanted to throw it initially. Now he'll keep it. He's going to keep it. Taco Dowler, is it taco time? Inside of the 5.
Love the decision making. Had to make a quick decision, understanding I can't get this ball off. Looking for the deception. Yale doesn't go for it. Multiple guys beating down on you. Nails the athleticism and ability to react to color and space.
There's his guy.
Yeah, smile, Taco. Everything's going well here.
He's on the edge of his seat.
I think he needs some sauce on himself. I think if you see Montana State score a touchdown, that'll be the sauce to get the kid going.
They'll give it to Davis, who just waltzes in.
I love the execution from Justin Lamson. When we get that chance to see this replay, you're going to see him hold that ball into the midsection of Davis as long as possible. And what that does is slow the defense down. Watch how he runs with him. Keeps the ball, not sure who's going to keep it, and that slows the defense down. They don't know how to react, and Kamara was caught in no man's land.
They brought a tight end into the opposite side and faked everything there. And Davis had as easy of a touchdown run as he's had all season, his 8th of the season, Tioga.
Listen, they haven't been great today. Haven't done everything perfectly, but at the end of the day, you're up 14 points at home, and this is the recipe for getting a big win in the playoffs.
Tioga, you brought up third quarter dominance this season for Montana State. This was a couple of weeks ago against the rival Montana. Caden Dowler, who had the first pick today, first of 2 now, with the INT return for the touchdown. That was about a minute to go in the third.
And this is where they bury teams. I mean, they are in total control of third quarters. You should take a look at that graphic that's telling the story, but you got to survive the third quarter if you got any chance of beating the Bobcats, and that's where Yale is right now.
And they were in control of that last drive, had an opportunity to score minimum 3 points, didn't get anything and turned it over. Now trying to bring this one back with some space is Joshua Tarver, still moving that pile out to the 40. If we know anything about Yale, we know they're not done yet by any means, despite that last, what had to be a bit of an emotional blow. You get that far down. It was the best drive of the day. Momentum was moving right inside of the 10, interception thrown, but now you come back out. How do you mentally reset?
Well, first of all, it's 2 things you got to know about Yale. First, they're smart, because it's Yale, but they are tougher than nails. They showed us that last week and the week before. They've been playing playoff games for multiple weeks to be in the position they're in right now. So the toughness is there. The problem is the execution today hasn't met the toughness. That needs to change.
Tough first down runs continuing. It's Dahl. Gain of 16. They had been doing that on first down no matter what you throw at them.
Yeah, and this Dahl thing is becoming a problem. We're not used to seeing Pittsburgh go to the sidelines and get a rest as much as we're seeing today. And Dahl is showing he's up to coming in and making plays just like the starter.
Coaching staff told us it's never been about the score for us. Whether we're up or we're down, it doesn't make a difference. The toughness, Tioga, you pointed out, that they're going to play with. Like you said, it's been the execution in the big spots. Plus side of the 50, second straight drive. Could they execute here? 1:05 to go in the third quarter. Dahl again broke through 3 tackles, then got hit. It was a circuitous route to ultimately get brought down after a gain of about 3, but Bryant Meredith makes the tackle. Hard hit it.
And look, watch the screen open up with nothing but green grass. Well, guess what? Here come the blue jerseys. The speed on this defense is very impressive, and how hard they play. I know Coach Sean Howell will be extremely proud of that particular play.
Meredith extra reps at nickel. Dolan out. Olulia Kepa also filling in back there for Montana State. Time to throw, that breaks down, then has to check it down. It's Dahl again. 3rd down on the horizon here, Tauka. What are you looking at?
Well, first of all, you saw Reno do exactly what he did earlier with Pitzenberger on the shovel just as the rush was getting there. But listen, man, you're on the plus side of the 40-yard line. You can run the football here. This can be 4-down territory if you're at least efficient on 3rd down. I don't think you need to put this ball at risk because the turnovers have come off of passes.
Play clock winds down in the 3rd quarter.
Of the 3rd quarter.
To the 4th we go. A crucial Yale drive. Going to see 3rd down on the first play of the 4th quarter. So our graphics crew has been amazing today. Yale versus the state of Montana, which was established in 1889. Yale, founded in 1701, 188 years earlier. So Yale has won 13 national titles before Montana even entered the Union. Now a rare, very rare first trip to the state of Montana to play a ginormous football game, one of the biggest in Yale history. Their first ever 2nd round FCS playoff matchup after winning the Ivy League title. Big 3rd and 5 here. Gonna run it up the gut with Pitzenberger, who's back in the game and down to the 25.
220 pounds. I mean, that's no joke coming through the A-gap. Someone's got to be there to meet him, though. Huge hole, and arm tackles aren't going to get it done against Pitzenberger. It doesn't matter. If you don't chest him up, he will run through everything.
The near misses for Yale. The overthrow of Nico Brown earlier. The interception inside of the 10 on the last drive. Can this be the one that doesn't have a near miss? Can they find the end zone here? Feels like they need to on the road. Reno back to throw. Down the seam to Brown! He got him right on cue.
Wow! What an amazing throw through windows with multiple blue shirts in the area. That ball had to be nearly perfect in order to have a chance to be completed, and that's what Reno delivered. Putting it in your hands of your best players. Do not try to make stuff up in the playoffs. Lean on the guys who got you there. That's Pitzenberger with some assists from Dahl, but it's also Nico Brown.
Right now, keeping the offense out here like they're going to go for 2.
Not sure why.
They direct snap it to Pitzenberger. He gives it off to Brown, who's in a lot of trouble. Brown trying to reverse field. Scoots to the opposite side. Looking to throw and gets swung down. Tauka, I'm not sure why either. Now you just force yourself to have to put up 8 points next time if you do hold Montana State. You got to get a touchdown, and then you have to go for 2 now.
Well, you and I talk about situations called manage the moment. I don't like how Yale managed this moment. Keep it simple here. But before that, look at this dime over the middle by Yale's Dante Reno.
I don't think Sean Howe, defensive coordinator for Montana State, even thought he'd be facing a potential 2-point conversion try there.
Yeah, well, it turned into a gift for this defense and the entire team. And you got to give Sean Howe and his staff credit for having his defense ready to roll. But the only reason you run this, if you're Tony Reno, is that you saw something on film that said MSU is completely vulnerable for an easy 2-point conversion. Because otherwise, why are you doing that? Keep doing what you're doing. It's been successful. Now they're kind of behind the 8 ball, and if they get in the end zone again, we'll have to go for 2.
This kick returnable here. Taken out to the 26-yard line. Jabez Woods on the return, and now the offense for Montana State will try to answer here in the 4th quarter.
And sometimes we talk about managing the moment. Sometimes managing the moment is just to do the normal thing.
What was the normal was working all game long. That drive, last 2 drives.
And why are you desperate? The defense is playing well. They've given up 14 points to one of the best.
And only off interceptions and short fields.
And
have they given off points.
And here's another thing. When you sit and watch that defensively, it's demoralizing a little bit because now you understand that you put yourself behind the 8 ball needlessly. So
it's like another must stop.
Yeah, a lot to overcome here by Yale, but guess what? They've overcome a lot to be here.
Overcame being down 35-7 at the half last week, 42-14 at one point in the second half. They're only down 8 still right now, a 1-possession game with 14 minutes to go. Montana State 37-2 on this field over the last 5 years. They rarely lose here under Coach Vigen. 7-1 in home playoff games under Coach Vigen. The wackiness of the FCS playoffs, though. Illinois State currently up 1, a #1 seed, North Dakota State, with 20 seconds left.
On the road, think of that.
On the road.
Again, a place where they never lose. Almost.
Officials coming together here on something, but a pretty clean game, well officiated.
The play clock inadvertently reset to 25. We'll set it to 25. It'll start on my signal.
Got to be wondering right now if Brett Vigen is rethinking that decision. Or excuse me, no, on the other side is Tony Reno rethinking that decision to be down by 8 now.
Oh, down the sideline, this has a chance. Able to link up with his running back, Adam Jones.
Let's see the release. Just a rail route up the line of scrimmage, or excuse me, up the sidelines, and just outruns the defense. When you got an outstanding athlete right now, you're finding ways to get him the football, and J.B. Schmidt just couldn't stay with him.
So now those set up on the Yale 44. Taco Dowler in motion, trying to show some deception, using his speed around the corner. Elusiveness of a guy having a career year, the Billings, Montana native. Their leading receiver.
Well, a great job of getting upfield by number 96, Jalen Tate. He gets up the field, but it's just, that's tough. I mean, you're asking him to run down Dowler, you can forget about it. He did all he could do to make the ball bubble backwards, but it just couldn't get somebody else on the edge to run him down until positive yards to the tune of 6 of them were gained.
Gain of 6 after the 27-yard gain on the prior play. Now they'll go back to the ground. Davis spun down quickly. That's Ezekiel Larry, who returned this week. His 10.5 sacks on the season, pacing the way for the Yale defensive line. Huge 3rd and 3.
I think this is an opportunity right here, if you're Montana State, to keep it very simple. Put it on your offensive line to see if they can grind out a 3-yard first down.
Fake it to Jones. We'll see where this is marked. It was a little clustered there with Lamson after the fake, and they're not even going to give him a yard here. So 4th and about long 3.
I think that was a timely call defensively to bring extra players to the line of scrimmage. They decided to blitz to stop the run, and it worked out. And now Montana State, the Bobcats are staying on the field. 4th and a long 3, looks like to me. They're deciding to go.
Yeah, this part of the field, that makes sense. Can Yale answer the bell again? Go to the sideline. Ah, was it hauled in? It was caught. They're going to say Dane Steele in his first playoff game, coming up big to make that grab, and it's a first down.
Outstanding play by Steele. Watch him get the ball and know exactly where he needs to go, and that was close. I'm not 100% sure he got the line to gain, and what you do know is the replay officials are looking at it, and if they don't stop play, then you know he got there. But I think that's just an outstanding job by Steele, getting the ball and getting it upfield immediately to get the first down.
On the line to gain, and plays that have to do with the goal line as well. A coach could initiate that challenge if they wanted to for those 2 scenarios when it comes to ball placement. Lamson was trying to get it off quickly,
Prior to the expiration of the play clock,
play clock was winding down. Vigen came running down the sideline to call it.
And Lamson's upset because he was being held by the official. And in that situation, the offense wants a reset of the play clock, but they didn't. They have no obligation to do that. They shifted and substituted late, so you got to allow the defense to substitute. And smartly, the defender for Yale was taking his time getting off the field. That's smart because the official was holding it. And that's why he had to burn that timeout. But how about Lamson on 4th down in the playoffs, coming up big with an accurate throw outside? And like I said, I love the job of getting upfield, and that was really close. The one downside of calling that timeout there, if you're Brett Vegan, it does give the officials in the replay booth another opportunity to look at it again. They haven't overturned it or even asked for a review, so clearly they believe he got it, but that was extremely close to not being the first down.
Brought Dowler in motion again, tried to run right up the middle. Jones broke a tackle. Jones inside the 20 to the 10. Is he going to go? He is!
Is that Adam Pac-Man Jones? Or is that Adam Jones, the outstanding tailback? Watch him gobble up yards after contact. And folks, that is a He-Man run. That's the physicality that you're looking for that Montana State put on tape all season long. It took them a while to get there and establish that, but they finally did. And that's why they're in total control of this football game.
Back to a 2-possession game. We talked about how tackling would be a hard thing to do against these running backs today. Jones rips off the 33-yard touchdown run. That is the goal to get there. One of the teams that was favorited to get there, North Dakota State, the #1 seed. This is historic, Tioka. They've made it to the quarterfinals every year they participated in the playoffs in the FCS era. Go down in a shocker at home by 1 to Illinois State. Upset for the ages. And Illinois State deserves to celebrate that tonight before we're looking ahead to that late game. UC Davis and Rhode Island. Wow.
If you don't love FCS playoff football, you're hustling backwards.
And if you're Yale, this is nothing new to you right now in your first ever FCS playoffs, being down multiple scores in the 4th quarter. The Montana State fans, though, this is an atmosphere that's different down the stretch. They are fired up, and they're going to be making noise and being very loud in this sold-out crowd the rest of this 4th quarter.
And they're built to be in this position right now. They have outstanding rushers. They are extremely opportunistic in the back half. They don't need to blitz. This is extreme danger time if you're the Yale Bulldogs. The good thing is you can still run the ball because it's not that late.
Pitzenberger running here. And Tioka, if you haven't done a football game in Bozeman, I have to recommend it. You mentioned if you don't love FCS football, you're hustling backwards. They don't sit down here. Where you look up, 2nd quarter, you think they're going to sit down. 3rd quarter, you think they're going to sit down. 4th quarter, they really don't sit down. They just keep standing up the entire game. And that's a phenomenal atmosphere.
Yeah, this is where Bobcats quarterback Justin Lamson talked about. That's why he's here.
Quick throw, tight end Brady Wagner adjusting. Really nice catch from him to move the chains and keep this thing going. They've still got all three timeout, 2-minute timeout. Plenty of time to go.
6'3", 235-pound sophomore. Not very big, but as you saw, an outstanding receiver.
They bring Dowler on the pressure. He gets picked up. Oh, timing was off with Lucius Anderson, who they wanted down the seam, and he caught that in stride. Could have been some running room.
Yeah, and he was off because of the physicality by the defensive back. Didn't get a great look of who that was. I'm not sure if that was Taden Gray or whoever that corner was, but man, he got really physical there with number 80, Lucius Anderson, and that disrupted the timing of that throw because Anderson did have a step.
28th straight game, rushing for more than 100 yards for Yale. Pitzenberger dragged down at the line of scrimmage. Paul Brott,
Playmaker.
legacy guy in this program. His brothers played for Montana State. They feel like he's an NFL prospect, the senior from Billings.
They call him the back alley guy. He is going to fight you tough for 4 quarters no matter what. First team All Big Sky. And I think he will be playing, or at least have an opportunity to play on Sundays.
He comes out, they bring in some third down specific personnel.
Montana State is showing pressure. I'll be shocked if they actually bring more than 4, because they usually don't need to. And they do.
Reno, clutch throw, clutch catch. Hauled in by Nico Brown. This is where they were phenomenal in the 4th quarter last week against Youngstown State on huge third downs.
Well, they're struggling to cover Nico Brown, and most teams did all year. Beautiful outcut, found the void in the defense, and then again, once again, adjusting to the ball in the air. You're not always going to get the perfect pass.
Brown has 8 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Pitzenberger back to the ground. He got pushed back initially. Original line of scrimmage should be 2nd and 10 coming up.
This is the run defense that I thought I would see a little bit earlier. It took them a while, and I think momentum has been helpful for this defense. They're playing with just a little bit more vigor and a sense of urgency. And usually when you don't come out of the locker room with it, you're the team that's down. But they've been able to survive that. They got the momentum now. Talking about Bobcats defense, this is going to be really tough now going forward if you're the Yale offense.
Solano on the pressure led to a low throw. Had intentions for Dahl. Reno went down. They brought the blitz, and 3rd and long on the horizon.
And again, this is what rushman can do for your defense. You don't always get the sack, but you can affect the quarterback more often than not. And again, that's Paul Brott again with another hit on the quarterback. And one of the things it does for you, when the rush doesn't show up, the quarterback still has those hits in his head, and he'll speed himself up because he's seeing ghosts because of the pain he's been feeling all game.
Reno, good coverage downfield. Pocket collapses on him. It's Eckert to bring him down way back at the 40 with 7:20 to go and ticking.
Oh, this is great team defense. The initial coverage was excellent, but initial coverage is not going to be good enough if you can't get there. So now you got the quarterback looking for open people, and here comes the rush. Initially, great move on the outside, on the corner, affecting the quarterback by Iden, and then his teammate Eckert cleans it up.
They converted a huge 4th and 18 last week against Youngstown State in the 2nd half. Can they somehow do it again? Game on the line. Reno steps up. Reno throws downfield. That is intercepted. Almost more like a punt here, but it is being taken back by Taden Gray. There are flags down, and he goes down just inside of his own 40.
He had multiple receivers open, Jason. I'm not sure where he was throwing that football. He had an opportunity.
There were some opportunities available.
But when you're being chased for your life, you know, weird things happen. Especially when being hit as much as he's been hit.
The way the play extended, some guys did open up.
Yeah. And he did everything right to extend the play, because it's almost like a Hail Mary situation. He threw that like a Hail Mary, even though he had underneath defenders in 1st down territory wide open. But I talked about
after the interception, personal foul, illegal blindside block, intercepting team number 8, 15-yard penalty. Montana will possess the ball 1st and 10.
But that's where that pressure, though, Jason, we talked about, can make you do things you don't want to do. You're going to see the defender, the receivers underneath. They're open. That ball sails on them. Now let's see if we can find out where these blindside hits come from. There it was right there, right at the end on the right side of the screen. He missed the number. Gotta stay away from those blind sides, but man, that was an easy interception.
27-yard line will penalize half the distance to the goal, 1st and 10.
Yeah, they call Gray big play, Gray, and that's the biggest play he's made in life right now.
They also call him a new dad as of last week. His daughter Willow, born during the bye week, and she gets to watch Dad get an interception, her first time watching him play.
How about that?
Picks up 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
There it is. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hey, look,
Smiles.
I'm going with Willow's smile over big play Tay right there. Willow's smile to me is just a little more gorgeous.
Just last week and playing in the playoffs today. Now his team takes over on offense, trying to bleed this clock down. Inside of 6 minutes it goes. Hand it off, keep it here along the hash. Lamson, the dual threat quarterback, making his first playoff start for the Bobcats.
You mentioned dual threat. We talked to him about, do you feel any pressure having to replace a legend and one of the greatest players not only in Montana State history but FCS history, and Tommy Mellott? And he said, listen, it comes with the territory when you take on a challenge like that, and all I do is just focus on how I play. I'm not trying to be Tommy Mellott. I'm just trying to be myself. And his self did something that Tommy never did again, beating Montana on the road.
Big Sky newcomer of the year, Justin Lamson. These are the moments that matter most. Jones had the 33-yard touchdown carry on the last drive. He has an important 3rd down carry there to move the chains.
This time in the game, Montana State is really hard to deal with now because they're imposing their will on the defense. And the play count is starting to rise on the guys in the white jerseys. Those legs are starting to fill up with lactic acid. It's harder and harder to come out of your stance with any kind of power, and you're starting to get pushed around a little bit.
If you're Yale, when do you start using these timeouts?
Well, I mean, you're getting to that point right now. And if you don't, it means you're raising a red flag, and I don't expect them to do that.
Faked it to Dowler. Lamson kept it. He's breaking tackles now.
Yep.
So like you said, this Yale defense that has performed so well today. You wonder how the fatigue is starting to play a role. There, I think we had one of the timeouts called.
The
Yep.
result of the play is a first down. Yale has taken their first timeout. It's a full timeout.
4:23 to go. Yale uses timeout number 1. So this part of the bracket, Stephen F. Austin and Abilene Christian currently tied 24-24. That's who the winner of this one would get next week. Right now, 21-6, Montana State up, the upset of the day, and upset we'll be talking about for years to come. Illinois State by 1 over the number 1 seed on the road. And by the way, 2 games going on in this state right now. Montana currently up 29-14 on South Dakota State. South Dakota with that 47-0 win over Mercer. Run here for Davis, spinning and showing the footwork at 2:10. Got to think South Dakota has to rise up amongst people's potential favorites now. Field is open.
It's 30 seconds. Timer, please reset the game clock to 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
If you're a Yale defender, you're trying to pull the ball out.
Thank you.
Find an opportunity to create a turnover. Something you haven't done all game. Obviously, you had an opportunity on that first touchdown, just got unlucky, really. Just couldn't get on that ball. Speaking of turnovers.
So you look here, Caden Dowler had the first one, Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year. And then this, just how this game was separated by inches, deflections. Montana State happened to pounce on their own fumble in the end zone. Yale marches down the field, gets inside of the 10. Opportunity to put points on the board, and Cole Taylor with the INT. Montana State scored 2 touchdowns off INTs, the 3rd one as well. Off an interception, so 21-6 the setting right now because of that. Same thing, fake it to Dowler, go to Lamson on the ground. Ball did come out, and Yale says, hey, we're not done just yet. Right as we talk about turnovers, first time that Yale forces one, nearly did earlier. Pouncing on it there is Ezekiel Larry.
Now listen, Abu Kamara caused the first fumble on the exact same player in Lamson. Watch him reach out and pull it out. There's a reason why he was a unanimous Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year, folks. Number 4, Abu Kamara, is a playmaker. And that's exactly what this program needed. An opportunity to get a turnover, and you need to score quickly if you're Yale, something they haven't been able to do all game.
He recovered a fumble last week, forces one this week. 4:10 to go. To the air goes Reno. Down the seam for Brown. Caught in stride by Brown. Inside of the red zone right away.
Another dime by Reno. You talking about stepping up when your program needs you. Watch this throw. Beautiful, great catch as well. Ball security, tucking it high and tight. Beautiful football.
Great start to the whole scoring quickly thing, if he can get it. They'll stick with the ground game here. Running to that left side of Pitzenberger. They still got the 2-minute timeout along with the 1 timeout, but got to hurry up to the line here.
Yeah, I got to speed this up a little bit. I understand that you want to make sure you get the right call, but this, for me, is taking a little bit too much time. And they're looking to the sideline for the call.
You need 2 touchdowns, one of which you'd have to go for 2 after. Clock's winding down.
Man coverage is the top of the screen.
They'll check it down instead. Pitzenberger down the sideline to the 5.
Reno's pass is complete to Pitzenberger.
They were able in that situation to get a first down without a touchdown. We're going to see where they mark this. And where they're marking it, Tioka, is not a first down. This clock is going to keep going. Yep.
And that's a problem with how slow they're going.
Right.
Ideally, you want to score this touchdown before the 2-minute timeout. You do not want to lose that timeout situation with the ball still in your possession.
Give it to Pitzenberger. He gets cut down quickly by Dominic Solano.
And I don't think he got it, Jason. I think this is 4th down.
Which would keep the clock going.
Solano and crew with the stop.
And again,
Yeah, they're marking this, you're right, 4th and inches.
and this is a lack of sense of urgency. I think.
Yeah, they're coming up saying we should be getting a first down. No, they're not giving you the first down. 4th and inches right now. But did we get?
And you got to be careful here asking for a review, because if you don't get it, it's going to cost you a timeout. See, I would have rather you just go fast. Yeah, exactly. I would rather you just go fast, Jason, get up under center and get a quarterback sneak. Now, the officials stopped it, so that's good. That's good for you. The officials stopped it for measurement. Yeah. And you got to give the Yale coaching staff credit, because I'm sure they were barking at the officials asking for a measurement.
In a spot like this, feels fitting they should go ahead and do it, and it's short.
Now, here's the key. Yale has to get up to the line of scrimmage right now, because they're going to wind this clock once the chains get to the sidelines. Well, that's just great short yardage defense by the Bobcats. So you need to get up to the line of scrimmage so that when the official takes his hand off that ball and steps away, you're ready to go. And so you use that measurement situation as basically a timeout. If you're the Yale offense, you're calling the play. And if the quarterback is under center, I believe it's going to probably be a quarterback sneak with maybe even a tush push in that situation. Looks like he's going to line up in shotgun. Is this going to be a direct snap? Yeah, that's Nico Brown behind the line, or even.
And Pitzenberger takes the direct snap. Lunges ahead, touchdown. 4th down, touchdown. That's the first one you need. Now the question is here, I gotta go for 2, right? Because where the score is right now, but we'll see.
I like
you
the extra
could score
point
again and then go for the
why
you have to go for 2, one of them.
Exactly. Why not go for 2 here? Because if you don't get it, it kind of deflates you and really costs you the ball game. Go ahead and kick the extra point. Now the entire program feels like, okay, we still have a chance.
Set yourself up now for trying to go down the field, and with 2:09 left, 21-13.
See, there's a lot of energy and activity on the sidelines of Yale now. I mean, see, now kicking that extra point is the right thing to do. Now everybody feels good about what we're doing. We're coming back. This is what we do. We're tougher than nails. We never give up. All of that feeling is still within the entire team right now. And so now it's about execution. what do you do decision-making now if you're the head coach? Do you kick the onside kick or do you kick this thing deep, understanding what you got timeout-wise? You got one traditional timeout and you got the 2-minute timeout. The question is, will this kickoff take all 9 seconds? Because you'd like to get this ball into the end zone with a kick, possibly, without any time coming off, so you can preserve the timeout. Now, the way he's setting up, it looks like they might go for the onside, Jason.
The way Montana State's preparing,
yeah,
looks like they're ready to receive an onside.
And look how the coverage team is lined up. They're all bunched out to one side. So this looks like onside kick. Let's see if they do something different and try to trick the return team.
The senior Nick Conforti lining up for the onside. Takes a hop. Uh-oh. There's a bounce underneath the pile, but looked like Montana State got it. They do.
Well, that was shaky for a minute. Nice job, but that ball went through the hands, and then, whoa, was that a headbutt onto a helmet? No, wait, whoa.
Helmetless headbutt.
Ooh, careful now. Nice job by Kuhn for getting on that ball. He kind of double caught that, right? And that's exactly what you don't want to do, but takes a sigh of relief right there.
If you're Yale, you mentioned there's still that 2-minute timeout and the 1 timeout that you have. Of course, need to stop them right now to have a chance at getting this ball back to your offense. Jones hit hard.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Dylan Yang right before the 2-minute timeout.
Well, see, we thought that ball hit the ground, but, you know, give Kuhn credit. He didn't drop it.
So Yale giving themselves life. The turnover. And they pounce on it with the Pitzenberger touchdown. 8-point game. Second and 13. Yale in a spot where they cannot allow a first down with the 1 timeout left. We're able to push Montana State back 3. Everyone has stayed for these final 2 minutes, and they're all standing up. Justin Lamson trying to close out his first playoff start for the Bobcats, but Yale's defense has been really good today. Do they have one more stop in them? Jones spinning off of traffic.
Quick timeout.
Adam Jones with the run.
Timeout Yale, their 3rd and final. It's 30 seconds.
Okay, so in this situation, there's no way I'm putting the ball in the air for multiple reasons. One, 2 things can happen bad when you throw the football. Incomplete pass or interception. Both of those would be a disaster right here. Why would the incomplete pass be a disaster? Because it allowed the clock to stop against a defense that has no timeouts. So you have got to run the football here. A lot of coordinators will be dying to throw it for a first down because you're probably going to get man coverage and you could probably end the game with a nice pass here. I wouldn't do it. Too risky. So I think you run the football, let the clock run down, maybe even take a delay of game or take a timeout just to get as much off the clock as you possibly can, then try to execute some sort of coffin corner punt or sky ball punt to force a fair catch. But first things first, ball security.
The ball security is what got him on the last series. Jones goes down. So
with the ball right at the 50-yard line, the question is, do you let the clock completely run out and take a delay of game, or do you call timeout?
Would get down to about 105 here.
Yeah. This is where you got to know your punter. Does he like a little extra room to execute this punt? Play clock down to 15, inside 15 seconds now.
Yale coming after this punt.
Sure, I think you do that, but you got to be smart though, because
nobody's back now. Lucius Anderson does trot back.
It's a delay of game, or did they call a timeout first?
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down. Coach reset the game clock to 1 minute and 6 seconds.
I think that's smart though, Jason. Get as much time off the clock, because right now Yale is playing against the clock as much as they're playing against Montana State. And so you're making it as tough as possible.
Abilene Christian and Stephen F. Austin going at it right now in the fourth quarter. The winner of this one will play the winner of that one in the bracket. Lucius Anderson is now back to return this. Like you said, you have to be really careful if you're going to try to come after this.
And to be honest, I wouldn't come after it.
Right.
But if you do, you got to be smart.
Play clock was down to 1.
No, I think this is a false start, I think.
Snap infraction, offense, number 40. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And see, to me, this changes the situation, Jason. I go all out return now. See, when you're punting down in this situation, you got an opportunity to get a return.
Get a significant yardage back.
Absolutely.
But now Lucius Anderson does go back again to return this.
They're still lined up for a block. And again, this is a scary situation if you're going for a block here.
No one in this building sitting down. Everyone, you can feel a collective heartbeat. They did come after it. Lucius Anderson underneath it. He gets popped. Lucky to hang on to that.
Ooh, Lucius Anderson.
Living on the edge.
True freshman back there, fielding a punt. And again, you talk about an ill-advised decision. He should have threw his hand up for the fair catch because you're catching it under duress and you're taking a hit. That ball could easily come out. But this is why I thought they should have set up for the return. If they were blocking those players, Anderson would have had an opportunity to get positive yardage. But nonetheless, here we go.
60 seconds, no timeouts. Dante Reno.
And Yale is playing against this crowd too. Listen to it.
Sophomore trying to guide a game-winning drive. Short throw to begin it. Pitzenberger on the move. He gets up to the 35, past the 40. So they get up near the 45. You would need the touchdown, and then you need to go for 2 to tie it.
I love the decision by Reno. Take that check down. That's free yardage to keep the chains moving.
50 seconds left. Clock stops momentarily while they reset the chains. Now it's going again. Had Brown over the seam. Incomplete. That's kind of the look where they connected with him earlier. It was a nice decision. Just didn't link up with him timing-wise.
If you're Montana State, you're saying this is on our front. We're not going to blitz. We're going to play all-out coverage with 7 players. And we're going to play it a little loose because we can't give up the big play. We're asking our rushmen up front to do what that man teaches them, Sean Howe, to get out to this quarterback.
Chess match between him and Yale OC Chris Ostrowski right now. But Dante Reno at the controls. 2nd and 10 with 43 seconds left. That ball just behind Billy Dahl. 3rd and 10 coming up.
And in that situation, you're hoping that it's a coverage bust. But what you're doing, you're worried about the ball staying in the quarterback's hands too long, but Bryce Grebe was all over Dahl. Great coverage there. I think the middle of the field is open, Jason. You got to find a way to protect and get this ball down the middle of the field because you've made money throwing down the middle.
They were looking that way. Reno had to escape, pulls out, deflected into the hands of the lineman, Michael Bennett. Then he gets dragged down inside of the 30 to set up 4th and a mile. And you got to run up here because the clock is ticking.
This is why a 4-man rush is absolutely invaluable. If you're Sean Howe, you don't have to dial up anything exotic. You just play coverage and allow your rushmen to take over the game. Zach Cruz, great job of coming around the corner and making a big play.
Clock down to 3 seconds. Just one potential lateral situation. They'll flip it back across the field here to Aiden Stevens. It's out. And Montana State looks like they're going to do it. It drifts back into the 5, and that will do it. 21-13. Bobcats advance to the quarterfinals.
That's the end of the game for the Montana State Bobcats 21, Yale Bulldogs 13.
The game is over.
And again, They run a stunt up inside, and this is as tough as it gets. This is something that you practice on Fridays, but I mean, you're asking a lot in this situation. That's what was left because of the pass rush, the four-man pass rush of this Montana State defense. And if you're defensive coordinator Sean Howe, you are completely proud of the effort in the second half of this defense. We talked about what it was going to take for them to take control of the game. Run the football, check. They did that offensively. The defensive line began to control the line of scrimmage and shut the run game down, check. And then the pass rush late gets unleashed. They're the ultimate closers for your defense. And this is Montana State football at its finest.
Fitting that this one came right down to the final whistle. 21-13.
NCAA.com. Thank you for attending and for your support of NCAA championships. Please travel home.
A little heated emotions going on right now between Davis and the other side. Yale, Brent Vegan trying to chat with him, but Montana State 3 points away last year from a national championship. They come up short, and now trying to get back there. The journey begins with a second-round win. For some reason, Davis is really hot.
Yeah, he needs to get control right now. Remember, you're playing next week, Davis. And if you keep this up, you won't be playing next week. And I'm sure something happened. But you're playing next week, and you're not playing for yourself. You're playing for the team that's on the front of that jersey. And I guarantee you, he's got good reason to be hot. But you got to make up your mind what this is all about. Is this all about you being selfish, or is it about something else?
Yeah, we didn't see what happened before this conversation took place.
And I don't like that. He got physical with his coach, and he got physical with his teammate. Things are going to happen in life. Things are going to happen. And it comes down to how you react to it. Not what happened, but how you react to it. That ultimately determines what kind of man you're going to be. And I guarantee you, Davis is not going to be happy when he sees the tape of it. Like I said again, I'm sure whatever happened was bad. It's how you react, though.
Montana State going to celebrate tonight, 21-13. Yale, an incredible season. It comes down to the final whistle. Comeback for the ages last week to get to this stage. Historic season for the Ivy League, getting back in the postseason. 21-13, though. Montana State claims this second-round matchup. They'll advance to play either Stephen F. Austin or Abilene Christian. Tucker Jackson, you're phenomenal as always. Our producer, Mark Bark, director, Dennis Lanius, everyone in the truck. You guys are great all weekend long. I'm Jason Ross Jr. saying so long.